the word, bro?
Not much, not much. Welcome to the show. How's your day going so far?
Man, it's been going good. I just did a IG Live interview with Johnny Blaze.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm mad I missed that.
Yeah. You was rocking. You was doing your thing.
Gotta work. Gotta stay working, man. It's hard while we inside, but we trying to keep the people entertained all the time. So, Mr. J1, Pandora's head of hip hop.
Yes, sir.
How did that come about for you?
Man, that was all God, bro, because honestly, I didn't even know the position was available. I was a program director in Washington, D.C., and I always knew I wanted to go over to streaming. Like, I'm always going to have love for radio because I did 12 years of radio, but I knew I wanted to go to a streaming platform. So last year, it was 2019, January 2019, I get a call from one of my label people, and they said, Pandora's interested in you as far as being the head of hip hop. And, I was like, well, give him my number. We talked, interviewed, and I was blessed enough to get the position.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah. So, and they let me relocate back here to Atlanta, where I lived like half my life. So, man, I'm just thankful.
So before that, what was you into before that call came in?
So I was doing radio. I did radio at Radio 1 for 12 years. I started out as a DJ. Obviously, that's how I linked up with you guys and became a part of the union. Shout out to Self, Superstar J, Will. They were the ones that put me down. I was living in Atlanta all that time. And Self always used to come down there. And we had a lot of mutual people that we rock with. So they kind of introduced us, and we just clicked. And, he put me down on the team. But I started as a DJ, just worked my way up through the program, was an on-air personality, assistant program director, then became a program director out in Indianapolis. I moved out there for 8 months, then the company moved me to D.C. I did about a good year and a half, 2 years out in D.C., and then I got the opportunity with Pandora.
That's pretty dope, man. That's a pretty dope stretch right there. What's the difference between what you're doing at Pandora to terrestrial radio?
There's some differences, but there's also some similarities. So the overlap is I'm still programming music. So like as a program director, I programmed the music that played on the radio station.
Right.
I selected the songs, talked to artists, built out like different marketing campaigns and stuff like that. Essentially, I'm doing the same thing for Pandora, except I'm doing it for the whole platform and whoever has Pandora across the country and stuff. That's a similarity. So I'm doing multiple playlists and multiple stations on Pandora, all the hip hop stations. I'm still working with artists. I'm still putting together events. The main difference is that I'm not responsible for like a staff or personalities and stuff. Like I don't have to do that. So part of me misses that, and there's another part of me that doesn't. Managing people can be difficult at times. You know,
absolutely.
Depending on your staff, it could be very rewarding, but it could be very difficult. So, But I'm at a point in my career that like I'm focusing back on my personal brand. So not having a staff and not having a bunch of people that I'm responsible for is giving me the opportunity to get back on focusing on me and really being creative instead of dealing with a lot of the politics that comes with radio programming, because about 10% of being a program director in radio is actually music. 90% is everything else that you got to deal with.
Right. Absolutely right. So you have less people to manage, but it sounds like a little more work though.
It's definitely more work. It's a different type of culture, but it's cool. I'm learning a lot about the digital platform, not just Pandora, but just digital streaming in general, where the trends are going, how artists are really blowing up through streaming. And it's just been a great experience. And I've really been able to help a lot more developing artists and stuff. A lot of stuff that I couldn't really do that at radio because of the way it's formatted. It's just hard to play a lot of music on radio outside a mix show. With Pandora, I still can't play everybody because there's so many artists out there. But if there's somebody that has some sort of buzz, they got something going on and they're moving, I can at least like give them an opportunity or show them how to use the platform to their benefit.
So how do you keep your ear to the streets to so many artists dropping records to know who is buzzing,
Right.
who is popping, or who could be popping? Do you take a chance on records that you believe in that probably aren't up there yet, or do you have to have a certain amount of influence with those records to get them placed on a station like Pandora?
So a few ways that, like, one, I find out about music, obviously online and stuff. I'm looking at statistics. I'm looking at what people are posting. Two, I still talk to a lot of DJs and stuff. I talk to you guys. I talk to the local DJs down here. And then I keep like creators and influencers around me. I have good relationships with students who are in college around here, because the college students are always up on new music and stuff. So I talk to a lot of people, and then I just use my gut. At the end of the day, curating playlists or curating stations is just another step of being a DJ, because that's what we do. We're curating like a playlist for a party or whatever we're doing. So I still got to use my gut. I still got to use my ear. Analytics will only get you so far, but I feel like you have to understand the story. I like to get to know the artist. Now, there's other people that would disagree with that. They say getting to know the artist jades you. It should just be about the music. So there's other platforms that they don't even allow their curators to talk with artists or talk with the labels. And I'm, you know, that's their opinion. I'm not saying they're wrong for that, but I feel like those relationships and really getting to know who the artist is a part of their story and a part of their overall brand. So I'm a big believer in that, because at the end of the day, if it comes down to two artists and they got similar songs, I'm going to go with the artist that I feel like got the better story and has the best chance of succeeding, as opposed to the artist that might just have caught a lick. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not actually interacting with the person or getting the backstory, you're not going to get all that.
How do you see the industry on streaming going? Like, what have you learned about the streaming from 2 years ago to what it is now?
Right. I mean, it's only getting bigger. Streaming really helped bring revenue and money back into urban music, because there was a time, and you probably remember this, when streaming first came out, there was really no way to regulate it or monetize it.
Right.
So people were just downloading music, and artists and labels, and nobody was getting paid. So you saw a lot of urban labels, especially, cutting back, getting shut down. It wasn't until like the legal part, the litigation, caught up with the technology, that they figured out how to calculate, how to pay artists on streams and stuff. So once that happened, that's really what opened up the floodgates. Now you're seeing a whole bunch of sub labels come back. There's all these artists developing and stuff. So for me, it's only, you know, to me, it's only going to get bigger, and you're just going to see different variations of it. You see the explosion of TikTok, Triller. Yeah.
TikTok is something real big.
Yeah. Then Twitch is popping. So it's only going to get bigger, but it's going to evolve. It's going to have different branches and stuff. Just my opinion.
I mean, that's the way it's going. Everything is digitally streamed right now.
Yeah.
The fact that they were able to monetize a lot of the streaming helps the independent artists out, and not really need the big major label if they can build enough of their own buzz to keep them above water. Because there's a lot of independent artists, even ones that come on this show, that are just, they're making it.
They're making it. They got big followings. Right. And like you said, a lot of them don't have a major label backing them. A lot of them aren't getting radio play and stuff, but they're still making a great living. So it's an exciting time. I mean, Travis Scott just did a full virtual concert on Fortnite. So it's just,
I mean, now, you know what? Now that everybody's inside, I compare it to when we were growing up. Without the cell phones, without the distraction of all the technology, we were outside playing dodgeball, manhunt, all them other games. And now our children are stuck inside, and they have to find other things to do. I feel like when outside opens back up, I'm still going to take about 2 months before I really go back outside, because I got to see.
I think a lot of people are. That's what we're going through right now in Atlanta because they opened up Georgia, but
I
a lot of
heard
us is
about
like,
that.
nah, we good.
I seen the protests, and I'm like, bro, it ain't time. What's the rush? It ain't time. Let this virus die because this shit is killing a lot of people. It's killing
really
a lot of people that I know, a lot of celebrities, a lot of people are going through stuff. So I'm not in a rush to just run outside without gloves and a mask on.
Right.
I'm cool. Right now, I mean, social media has probably triple folded since this pandemic happened.
Yeah.
Everybody's moving on social media. I'm doing Zoom parties virtually for people on social media.
Yeah.
I'm doing record release parties via Zoom and everything else. So
Right.
I don't even think this wave is going to drop. I think even when we're back outside, people are still going to be streaming on Zoom and other platforms to keep their media and everything going. Because I have more interaction now because I have time to actually be on social media than ever before. I wouldn't even touch a live before or something like that.
You and me both, man. And you're doing all the right things. You're part of the group that I talk about all the time. That's adjusting,
right,
and making the proper adjustments to what's going on. Because at the end of the day, like, life is all about adjustments and pivots and knowing when to move. Things are always changing. Things are always evolving. Like whether we went from vinyl to tapes to CDs,
right,
as DJs going from 1200s to CDJs to controllers and all that stuff.
Right.
Stuff is always changing. Like what the pandemic did, it's another change. It just happened so aggressively and so quickly. It's made a lot of people like have to pivot faster.
Right.
And if you're not able or willing to learn those new skills or try new things or step out of your comfort zone, it's going to be hard for you to keep up because, like you said, we don't know when things are really going to go back to normal.
Right.
I mean, there's nobody really has the answers. The scientists, the government, nobody really knows. So we're constantly having to adjust. So, I commend you. You're doing all the right things. And I feel for a lot of DJs right now. As somebody that DJs, man, like that's how we eat. You feel me?
And I'm 24/7 DJ. Ain't no in between on that.
Yeah, and that was me about 6 or 7 years ago before I really got into radio. And I think back, I'm like, man, I would be like trying to pivot and doing what a lot of you guys are doing right now. Doing these Zoom parties and thinking of creative ways to keep the income coming because we ain't getting no stimulus check. Like if we get sick, a lot of us don't have health care or insurance.
Right. And I think that this has been a slap in the face to all DJs especially, and even small time entertainers, MCs and stuff like that. When this happened, it's like, wait, I never really saved up enough money to go through something like this.
That's right.
Because us as entertainers, we get cash money or we get whatever. If you're doing corporate parties, whatever, you're getting big money all the time.
Right.
So you're like, whatever, I'm spending it this week, rent next week, I worry about the car no next. Everything's coming in so fast. And you're spending it on a limit of what you're used to.
Yeah.
See, like for me, people will be like, "Yo, but you're here, you're there, you're getting all this." Like, yeah, but I got 6 kids, bro.
Damn, yeah, that's real.
A whole household and other things to take care of. So, my $15,000 a month compared to yours is different. You outside with the Benzes and the chains and doing whatever and throwing it out the window. I got to keep going, keep eating to get that extra.
Right, that's right.
And I was smart enough to make myself a company. I was smart enough to get trademarked, to start my own 401k and everything else. So when things happen, okay, now I can go to the bank and apply for that payment protection program because I got a company.
That's
DJ Mr. Famous pays me. You feel me?
Right.
So I know a lot of people are definitely going to get their business up from this pandemic and move differently because at any point in time, this can come back or something else can come up. And then what?
You got to, man. You got to. DJs, artists, a lot of people. And people are developing multiple streams of income because, I mean, if your job is your only source and they cut that job, what are you going to do?
Right.
So it's good to have like, okay, I'm getting money from here, but I'm also getting checks or bags at these other places as well.
Right.
I mean, that's something that I've been working on too. So like I ain't exempt. Even though I'm still blessed enough to be employed, I'm still figuring stuff out, and I'm expanding myself. Like you said, I'm doing more lives and interviews than I probably could think of in these past 20 days or 30 days, however long this month has been, man. Right. I've done it in probably the last 5 years. But
absolutely. I got online maybe once or twice last year to see, you know, whatever. But I wasn't really that person until it came to this. Then it just started spiraling. Now I'm gonna just be stuck on it because I got a whole live show. I got great artists on every single week. I'm helping break records. I'm putting records together. I'm putting artists together. I'm getting their music out there, and things will bubble from it. You know, I don't care what anybody says, but the DJ has entertained the world 20 times over during this pandemic. Sunday, I did a gospel set at 12 o'clock. I got so many DMs from people that just tell me, yo, I really needed that. I that. It's just like, wow, I never, you know, I was just feeling the way I was going to play for 15 minutes. It ended up being a whole hour.
Yeah.
It turned out great. So now on Sunday, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Tune in. I'm going to be here.
Well, music has always been that therapy, especially for urban culture and us as Black people. I mean, if you go all the way back to slavery, music was a way to communicate with each other, and it was a way to get a release. You know, slavery, Jim Crow, civil rights movement. Music has always been interwoven with all of those parts in history and our history. And this time is no different. You know, we're catching it more than any other race.
Right.
And so that's why, like you said, DJs have been essential to get people through these times. These versus battles, you know, it takes people to a place where you remember when Teddy Riley played that song, or you remember your mom cleaning the house on Sunday morning and she was playing something by Babyface. You enjoying the moment.
Right. It's definitely all about the moments that we're enjoying right now. The entertainment that's going on today, between the DJ battles that are going on online, the DJ knowledge battles that are going on online.
Yeah.
I'm watching all of it, from Pretty Lou's show to everybody's show. And even I'm thinking, oh, I wouldn't have had that. It puts me back to the homework stage. I'm in a library making all types of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm joining these competitions, and it take a big DJ to join these competitions.
Yeah.
I'm joining these competitions, and I knocked Pretty Lou's out the box. My girl, DJ Q Lynn, she knocked Pretty Lou's out the box. We moved on to other things. She's in the championship of another DJ battle. And I'm just enjoying all this camaraderie and interaction with the artists. You know what? Even artists that wouldn't even hit me up before, on the DM real quick. Everybody home. They want to talk. They want to get their stuff out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is definitely a platform that they need to take advantage of.
Absolutely.
And for those that don't take advantage of the publishing.
You know, as artists, you should be checking in with your ASCAP or BMI or wherever you get your publishing through. And you should also be registered with SoundExchange. I think a lot of people overlook SoundExchange. SoundExchange was established by the government so the actual performer of the record could get paid off of digital radio streams. So digital radio streams include platforms like Pandora, SiriusXM, I think Music Choice, and a few others. Those are classified as digital radio streams. So Pandora obviously is the biggest payee to SoundExchange, but you can have the worst deal ever. If you're signed up with SoundExchange as an artist, you will get, I think the number is like either 40 or 45% of the revenue from that stream, regardless of your deal. So think about it. Like with Pandora has a lot of older listeners. Some of our biggest songs are songs that was hot maybe 10 or 20 years ago that are still getting millions of streams a week, because that's the way it works. So as an artist, we keep artists afloat when they're off cycle or they get cold. So you'll have artists that ain't put out a hit in 10 or 15 years still getting a good check from SoundExchange because of, one, the way it's set up, that money's going directly to them, and two, the way that these digital radio stations work, they're constantly still playing their songs and stuff. So you definitely want to make sure that your publishing is right. You know, I've been encouraging all artists network with the DJs, like you were saying, because DJs aren't as busy right now.
Right.
They're not in the club. So artists want to come up to us when we're in the club and throw the CD or the flash drive in the face while you're working. But I said, now's a good time to start networking with DJs. Absolutely. Now's a good time to research different streaming companies and distribution companies and finding out what artist tools that they have and what distribution companies will actually help you push your record and not just upload it to all the DSPs. You have the time to do it now. It's just a matter of if you want to put the work in.
Absolutely. And, you know, the thing with the SoundExchange, I would say 70% of the people that's been on my show was like, what? SoundExchange? Okay, so you got your ass there, but your BMI, you're not registered with SoundExchange?
You got to have SoundExchange. Again,
and there's big names too.
SoundExchange is good for the long term, and if you have a jacked up deal. And again, I want all my money. If I'm an artist, I don't care. A lot of artists want to focus on maybe Spotify and Apple, and that's cool, but there's so many other streaming platforms that you can generate revenue on.
Right.
You know, Pandora being one of them. You got Amazon out there. Tidal, even though they might not have a big viewership, they actually pay the most out of all the streaming platforms.
Yeah.
So if I'm an artist, make sure you messing with all the platforms, and most of the platforms have tools that you can use to generate streams without even hollering at a curator like myself.
Right.
Or talk to the DJs that are making playlists across all the streaming platforms, because playlists now, DJs making playlists now are almost like the new mixtapes.
Right. I definitely was going to get into that myself.
Yeah, you should. Like for me, I can only do playlists for Pandora because that's my job. But you could do playlists for Pandora, Apple, Tidal, Spotify, SoundCloud, and just basically network with those artists, put together playlists and all that stuff. I mean, that's what a lot of artists are doing, and I encourage a lot of DJs are doing. I always encourage artists, like, instead of trying to get on one of the bigger playlists, work your way up. That's how you get your streams going and get some sort of traction. You know, get on these smaller playlists by DJs or different influencers and get your stuff popping. And then when it's time to get on the playlist, your song is ready.
Appreciate you coming on the show today, man.
Nah,
I know you got a busy day.
Yeah.
I would love to get your opinion on it before I release everything.
Cool, and I'll help you get set up on the platform. So
I appreciate that, man. Thanks a lot.
Be safe up there, brother. Appreciate you.
Will do. Thanks, man.
All right, man.